Shirts and skins, let's get it, yo. Shirts and skins and we back again. The best coverage in college sports, we come to win. With Brandon, Mark, and Matt, no one go hard as that. Share it with your folks and they'll learn where it all be at. It's just three of the guys, childhood friends that be setting the vibe. With a few hot takes, jokes, and predictions. Love the Boise State, we now welcome you to listen. Shirts and skins, let's go.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, we are coming to you on a Sunday night. We got a new setup, guys.
Yes, we do. Let's see it.
We're trying some new things.
Wide view.
Everything. Wide view. Come on, there it is.
We got someone at the controls.
Yep.
We have a new
view.
studio. It's not fully decorated. It's a little
This part
bare
is.
right now. Yeah, we got some heads there.
Yeah. Not doing too bad.
But yeah, so we got that. We're trying to do new stuff, bring you new technology. So get excited for that.
Mm-hmm.
But this is the Shirts and Skins podcast, guys. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Great viewership on our last video. So thank you for that. I was at a basketball tournament this last weekend.
How'd the tournament go?
Well, I mean, we got first. Of
Hey,
course.
Whoa.
okay.
Watch out.
Like you would expect.
Okay. This is the leading thing.
We're
Well,
leading off with the.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, some people
like it.
want to talk Boise State sports.
Okay.
I mean,
Well, I want to
someone-
talk eighth grade basketball.
But anyway,
Club basketball. Okay.
Mark, somebody who knows you came up to me.
Okay.
And so I'm sitting there talking with my son and my wife.
Do I need to bleep anything out?
No.
Okay.
Hey, come on. So no, and somebody walks by, and then they turn around and they come back and they're like, "Wait a second, are you Shirts and Skins?"
Yes.
Yeah, the Shirts and Skins podcast.
Yeah.
And I was like, "Yeah," and he's like, "I could tell from your voice." He didn't see me. He's
Wow.
like, but he knows you, Mark. Apparently,
All
I
right.
don't
Who
know
was
he
it?
is. I don't know if I got his name. But
Oh, you know, it was ball, shaved head.
I don't think so.
Oh, boy.
No.
All right.
Anyway,
Listener of the week.
thanks for watching,
All right.
everybody who's out there.
Right
Love it. We've got some topics to talk about, some important stuff, some good stuff.
Yeah.
There are some games this weekend. guys.
Yes.
Some football games. First round of the college football playoff.
Maybe hearing that a little bit. Next 2 weeks? 2 weeks from now?
9 days.
9 days.
Yeah,
9 days.
okay.
now.
Coming
Penn
up.
State, our opponent in the Fiesta Bowl. First off, what are the thoughts on the first round of the college football playoff? And then we'll get to the Penn State matchup. Mark?
Well, if you've been paying attention, watched the games, I'm not going to, the low hanging fruit is that the games were not exciting, and I was super excited for the playoff. I mean, I've been super stoked for a couple years since they
Even if
announced
we
this.
weren't in it.
Yeah, I mean, not to the extent that I am because we are in it, but just the fact that, I don't know, extended playoff, I was excited for it, still excited. The home environments were super cool, I think, going into that, but ultimately the games were not, I wouldn't have,
Should we have expected what we saw, considering that they are away games for the teams that lost and home games for the teams that won?
Right. That's a good question. I would have expected closer games. At least out of 4 games, none of them were close. The Clemson Texas one got a little tight there, 1 score, but then it was quickly back to 2 scores. I would have expected the Tennessee Ohio State game to be close. The first 2, Indiana Notre Dame and then SMU Penn State, those were not surprises. I don't think to anybody.
Really?
I don't think. I mean, I'm not saying I predicted they'd get stomped, but I don't think it was a big surprise. But the last 2, I thought, especially Ohio State, Tennessee, I really thought that was going to be a tight game. But they lack drama, obviously, which is too bad. But that's how it goes sometimes. I mean, I did see a stat that said the semifinal games in the 4-team playoff averaged 19 point something. Point differential,
margin of victory.
Yep. And the games last night were 17 something. So it was like,
So does that mean
we're
it's going
used
to
to
happen in the first round? So that was the first round or the
That was the first-
quarterfinals?
No,
What do
the
they call it?
quarterfinals are coming up.
So they call that the first round?
The first round.
So that the first round was just played.
Yes.
The quarterfinals are coming up. Do we expect a similar margin of victory on average?
I sure hope not. I mean, you listen to some of the national pundits out there, and there's some worry out there for a couple of teams from the West. But we'll get into that. But all in all, I was excited. I think the best thing by far about it was that there were home. I love the idea. Love the idea of having home playoff games.
Yeah.
And just listening to the commentators and watching the pageantry, which is one of the best things about college football. It just seemed like it stepped up a notch, and that was cool.
I wonder what the home team. I wonder what the home team gets revenue-wise by having it in their stadium.
Yeah.
Do you know any
I
details?
heard. I don't know about the team, but I heard that Notre Dame, that was a $40 million local boost
Why?
to the economy. Hotels, bars,
Restaurants, all that stuff.
the whole thing. That's what I heard. Listen to a podcast today, which is big.
That's an estimate.
It's an estimate for sure.
$40 million?
Yeah, I think the home games were cool. I would have loved to seen an upset on someone's home.
Yeah.
But, we didn't get to see the upset.
And we didn't see snow. It was cold, and there was snow like the day before. But
Penn State and who else had it? Notre Dame.
Notre Dame.
yeah, but they cleared the field, and
I don't know. I just don't know how. If you were to play 100 games, I would bet the home team wins 90 out of 100.
90.
I think so. I just
You
think
mean any home team, just generic?
the
You're talking
home
about these
team
games we just saw,
in the home games in the first round of the playoffs in this format.
which is great. In my opinion, you
Should have
work
an
all
advantage.
year. You should have an advantage.
Okay.
You're the higher seed. You're the better seed, and there's some talk about the seeding.
Yeah, because could you say, hey, the committee got it right because those with the home
it went
field,
chalk.
It was just like, well, it's how you'd expect.
Yeah, so
right?
more like a first round of the NCAA March Madness, where most of the higher seeds win.
It's not as fun, but it's how they picked it. So are we giving more credibility to them?
I don't know. I just think it's so difficult if you're going to make the 12-team playoff. And I think moving forward, I have a lot of thoughts on where it's going. But if it keeps in a similar format where they have 12 teams in and they let a G5 program in, the importance of being a seed 8 through 5 is so, I mean, it like jumps your odds of getting into that next round by a multiple that I think is just incredible, because I just don't know if you were to switch those matchups, I bet they all go the other way.
I don't think so.
I just
all of them.
Why not?
Those games
Like,
weren't
tell-
even close.
Okay, so let's talk about the games. Let's talk about the games.
Yeah.
Let's start with Penn State.
Okay.
I think Penn State's a great team. I think everybody that made this tournament is a great team. I didn't see anything that Penn State did that made me feel like, wow, they're an incredible team, to the point where they're unstoppable. Right?
Yeah, I know where you're going with this, and I agree.
Okay.
SMU just crapped their pants.
Yeah, SMU,
the
quarterback
quarter,
gave them
bad.
3 touchdowns, essentially.
Yeah.
Essentially gave 'em 3
and
touchdowns.
you could say maybe that's weather / crowd related. 100,000
confidence
people
and all that stuff.
Yeah, no, I don't disagree with that one.
Right. And so you just don't know what's going to happen if, let's say, it was tied into halftime.
Sure.
14-14 in a Texas location. I don't know, right? You go to Ohio State, Tennessee. I don't know. I mean, Ohio State, I feel like they have more of a mission than any other team right now, just because if they lose, their coach is done.
They look good. Ohio State looked the best all weekend, I thought.
It did not look like the team that lost to Michigan.
Yeah.
What? And that
However that happened.
That just makes you wonder, like, and I think I texted you guys this. It's like, it just makes you scratch your head even more, like this whole mental dilemma they have about facing Michigan.
Yeah.
It's like, it's an unhealthy obsession.
At home, though. It was at home.
No, it's like 365 days. I mean, they literally cross out the letter M on their campus, and they can't say the word Michigan. And
It's too much.
It's way too much. And so the way that they coached and played that game a few weeks ago against Michigan, it was like this team, they're so much better than Michigan this year.
There's fans that say they don't care. I mean, they care about winning the national championship, but it's like, it's not as cool because we didn't beat Michigan. Like, it doesn't carry that much weight.
It's crazy. That seems bizarre to me. Like it's way too important. I mean, and the team played that way, and the coaches coached that way. I think they're a really good team, and I think we saw that yesterday, which just makes you like, dude, chill out on the Michigan thing. Chill. But anyway.
Well, anyway, I don't know what would happen if they were in Tennessee. Maybe it would have been a closer game. All these games, they all jumped out to a quick basically 21-0 lead.
Yeah,
like all of them.
And you could say that. Yeah, I mean, I just think the better teams were better seated, had the home. But Vegas says that home field typically is worth 3 points, not 30.
Okay. Yeah.
Now, in these playoffs, I think it was worth more than 3. I totally think it was worth more than 3. But I don't know if all 4 of those flip because they. I mean, SMU Stadium. It's I don't think Indiana's very good.
I also think if you bring a lot of those teams into BSU, we have a decent shot at all of them.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know about Texas, and I don't know about Ohio State. We could have beat
any of those teams that lost yesterday. We could have. At home, we definitely would have beat any of those teams.
I agree with that.
The only one that wasn't really in cold weather was the Texas home game, right? I mean, Penn State playing SMU. SMU's used to warmer temperatures.
Right.
Gets colder at Penn State. Notre Dame.
That one was weird.
Indiana.
I don't know about that. Should have been closer.
It should have been. Yeah. Is Indiana that bad?
It's so hard. I don't want to do the whole hey, they didn't deserve to be there. It's just hard. But and I know what you're gonna do. You're gonna pull up texts. During my opinion changed throughout. Kind of kept going back and forth throughout those 24 hours, right? But Indiana, I mean, I will say this. What? They didn't look good at all. They did not look good at all in that game. And then when you go back and you look, they beat one team with the winning record. One.
Which one was that?
It was Michigan. They beat Michigan 20-15.
Okay, so here's their
So how good is Indiana?
So let's go over Indiana. So this leads into another thing. So they beat FIU. They beat Western Illinois. They beat UCLA.
Keep it going.
They beat Charlotte. They beat Maryland. Tell me when you're worried about any of these. Northwestern, Nebraska, 56-7.
That's pretty big there.
Them.
Yeah, they did.
Washington, Michigan State, Michigan, 15-20.
A lot of big names, but not good teams.
Purdue, 66-0.
Okay.
Yeesh. And then they lost to Notre Dame, 27-17, and they lost to Ohio State. So
bigger names,
they were
scary teams.
Again, I don't like to go back and be like they didn't deserve to be there. Blah blah blah.
Can I tell you what I think when you're done?
Yeah, sure. I'm just I don't. Of all the teams, Tennessee, I think is a good team. They had big wins. They beat Alabama. They beat some decent teams, good teams. I think of the one team that you're I don't know how good they were. I think it has to be Indiana.
Okay, but who would you have switched?
I'm not saying I would switch anybody.
I'm just asking.
No, that's what I just said. I'm not in the business of saying they didn't deserve to be there because the next team is Alabama.
Okay.
And then it's okay, well, they had better wins. Alabama had better wins.
Can we use that as a segue to get into the SEC talk?
Yeah, sure. Well, Brandon had something to say.
It's my opinion that this is a play at basically the Big Ten and the SEC setting up a mini playoff and breaking apart. And the reason I say that is because if you were to say a team in the Big Ten went 11-1, how would you traditionally handle that?
You think they're really good.
You think they're really good?
Yeah.
Because there's only how many teams in the Big Ten traditionally?
10, 12. 12, yeah.
Whatever.
Now there's 18.
Yeah. Is that how much there is? 18?
I think 18.
So.
Okay.
Yeah.
And
so I think that played a factor into the rankings this year because you see the name of the conference, Big Ten, next to this team, and you think, okay, they're really good. But you don't realize that, maybe they didn't play the teams they would normally be required to play that are in the Big Ten, let's just go down the list. Oregon, USC, Ohio State, I don't know, any other teams. So I just think at this point, they're going to say, well, how do you determine a team is good in the SEC or in the Big Ten? You say, you just got to do a mini playoff.
Fine.
That's what I'm saying. Fine. That's what I'm saying. That's where it's leading to because they're going to say, how do you determine this team's good? If they're in a good conference, but they don't play anybody good, do you now say, okay, they don't qualify to get into the playoffs? I just think that's where it's leading. And the amount of talk on the SEC saying we didn't make it, like Lane Kiffin.
Yeah, he was tweeting.
Lane Kiffin was tweeting, if you don't get on Twitter, you're a smart person. But essentially he said, way to go, committee. These games are riveting, ...
This is all before the Tennessee showing.
Before the Tennessee show.
And then he got real quiet.
Should have waited.
Didn't age well. But I guess it's just, to me, that's where I think it's all going. Personal opinion on that. If we go to Penn State SMU, I don't know how I feel about SMU. I guess I just...
It's actually very similar. Sorry, I just cut you off. It's very similar to Indiana. Like, look at their schedule.
Look at our schedule.
No, I know. And I know. That's why I don't really like saying that.
Yeah.
But I think you could say the same thing. Like, they lost to BYU, right? And then they lost to...
They gave that game away.
It was so bad.
I
watched
didn't watch it.
It was early in the year.
Was it the quarterback?
Well, they had their backup quarter. So they had their other quarterback. They weren't playing their good quarterback yet.
Okay.
I don't
It
believe.
was the sloppiest
Sloppiest game I've ever seen.
What are we doing? And it's early in the season, so maybe you expect that.
They got the ball inside the 20 like 3 times in the fourth quarter and didn't get any points. One time, it was a first down. I think I said this before. It was a first down. The guy's running. He's going down, like first and goal.
SMU guy.
SMU guy. And he's going down. He tries to pitch it back to his quarterback and fumbles. They threw a pick in the end zone. It was like, I remember, I was like, these are the most like undisciplined team I'd ever seen. And they almost lost to Nevada. They needed like a miracle to beat Nevada at Nevada, like week 1 or week 0. So they started out really slow, and then they got their quarterback, and then they went through and they won a bunch of games, but they didn't play Miami. You know what I mean? Like
that Penn State SMU game changes if on the first drive SMU, I get that he was running for a first down on fourth down, but he threw it to a wide open guy way behind him
who got popped. Yeah.
And so if he would have just thrown a catchable ball, that's a touchdown. And I think that entire game changes because all of a sudden they're off on the sideline and then 2 pick sixes and then an interception later.
Well,
I mean, that's essentially 4 scores because
swing.
that one throw was a turnover on that first thing, and then pick six, and then on the goal line, an interception.
Yeah.
And I was watching that game, and my 10-year-old was watching. He saw the first 2 pick sixes, went upstairs to play NCAA, and I said, "Oh my gosh!" He's like, "Another pick six."
It was almost.
It's almost.
And I know I'm talking out both sides of my mouth here, but I think that's a great example of just football momentum. And just like how 1 or 2 plays here or there can change the outcome of the game.
Especially when you're on the road.
How
much bigger is it, right? You got nobody cheering for you.
Yeah.
I think to both those points, any of these games, it really shows how important the quarterback is on a one-off game. And so I think if you're in the play, what's difficult to sustain is the playoffs where you have to win, let's say like 4 games to win the national championship. You need more than just a quarterback. You need a line.
Sure.
You need pressure. You need defense. But in these situations, like if you're going to go into an away scenario, your quarterback has to be essentially perfect. And I just don't know that I saw a perfect play. I think the Clemson guy did a good job.
Yeah.
But certainly not Tennessee. Certainly not SMU. Certainly not Indiana.
The Indiana quarterback got Heisman votes. Like, what?
Yeah.
They didn't even. They scored like 40-something points a game. They looked horrible.
Well, they beat some teams 66-0 and 56.
And maybe that just shows the disparity between the top 4, 5, or 6 or 8 teams and like everyone else.
But look at the Big Ten. I mean, that's huge disparity. Like I just
huge
don't know
disparity.
How much
they have a
is in
huge
the SEC.
disparity. They do. I don't know about the SEC, but the Big Ten.
The Big Ten.
I'm thinking about Oregon, Ohio State are really good teams. Purdue is trash.
SEC has it too. I mean, look at Mississippi State.
Yeah.
Garbage.
Yeah.
They didn't beat any. Yeah, they're garbage.
Yeah. How many are in the SEC that are garbage? Mississippi State.
See, like
Vandy.
Kentucky actually beat somebody. Vandy beats like
they beat Alabama, but normally they don't.
Yeah, but I just wonder. I mean, they may have 3 or 4 teams. The Big Ten has half their league.
I've been saying that about the Big Ten for a long time. I know that they're super popular. They have a couple of really big name brands, and they added Oregon, which is huge, and USC, which is a big brand, but they haven't won anything for a long time. But they're like Minnesota, Maryland, Rutgers, Purdue. Like these are not Indiana before this year, and that's still questionable. Like
Illinois.
There's Illinois. Like there's a lot of schools that you're like, I'd take Boise State. I would take Boise State above half of the Big Ten.
Performance-wise, you're 100% right.
Yeah. And so now, granted, they get all the money because they have like 60,000 students. All these schools, like they're huge campuses, huge alumni bases, huge population centers. So I get it, but I don't think the football top to bottom is amazing. Not say it is anywhere, but it's let's not just act like the SEC and the Big Ten are just so head and shoulders above everyone because they're not.
They're not. Yeah, I agree with that.
It is.
SEC team had the worst loss of the weekend,
And it was bad.
Tennessee
did.
Yeah.
Did they have the? Oh, I guess so.
It wasn't
I didn't even
close.
see it. I guess I didn't realize that. I turned it off.
Yeah, it was.
Like when Ohio
Well, they
State
scored
kept
one
scoring.
late to get to 17. They scored one
Is that
real
what it
late,
was?
like
Can-
Indiana.
Can we go over the viewing numbers of the first round of the college playoffs?
Yeah, it
This
wasn't
surprised
great.
me.
Yeah.
For reference, the championship weekend in college football, the SEC got 16 million
For Texas, Georgia.
for Texas, Georgia.
Okay.
I don't remember what Ohio State, Penn State got.
Ohio State. No, it was Penn State, Oregon.
Penn State, I'm sorry, Penn
And
State,
it
Oregon.
wasn't 16, but it was
11.
Like it was double
something.
digits.
Okay.
Yeah. And then
The Big 12 got less.
I got less. And then Boise,
We got
UNLV
3
got
million.
3 million.
Okay. For the first round of the 12-team playoff, Tennessee, Ohio State, 6.3. You'd think a lot more.
That's
Like,
about
why not more?
That's about a third of the SEC championship game.
Why not as much as the Big Ten championship?
So I think the main reason is they were going head to head against the NFL.
Yeah, what
Okay.
was up with that?
Well, I don't know why the
I
NFL's
don't-
playing on
I don't know
Saturdays,
if that's where
but
you're taking us, but we have to talk about that.
I was
Where it's
just-
like,
it's stupid.
Why did they do that?
Yeah, I love college football way more. I don't pay much attention to the NFL at all. I watch the Boise State guys there. I don't have follow a team, whatever.
Yeah.
But the reality is, in this country, NFL is king.
Yes.
And college football second. I mean, they're way above the NBA now. I mean, look at the NBA ratings. Like, that's a joke. But
It's
no,
a
it's
joke.
bad. No one cares.
It's a bad product.
Yeah.
All right, keep going,
Let
Brandon.
me keep going. So Indiana, Notre Dame, 5.7. Clemson, Texas, right above the Mountain West Championship game at 3.6.
That's crazy.
Clemson, Texas.
Those are big time.
Big time teams.
Yeah.
How long do you have to be viewing to be counted as a viewer?
I
I don't know how
Did
that
they
works.
lose interest because the game wasn't good?
Yeah,
Well,
maybe.
I think that's all part of it.
Maybe.
And
It was
NFL
on
games-
TNT.
It was on TNT. But
All
then
right.
the standalone game Friday night, what was it? Notre Dame, Indiana, what was that?
5.7. On
Okay.
ESPN.
What was the
ABC,
lowest one? There was like a 3.1. wasn't
SMU, Penn State,
there? Okay. What was that? 3.1?
3.1.
Yeah,
Okay.
I think that them being not great games because I was
Steelers-
tuning in and out. Like I was prepared this weekend. I was prepared to watch a lot of football.
9 hours of football.
I was prepared.
I was at a basketball tournament.
We weren't. So kids weren't doing anything. Cleaning up around that. Like I was gonna do it. Like I was gonna marathon it.
Yeah.
You know. And I didn't. I watched parts of every game,
You
but
ran-
none of them were good.
You,
Well,
ran
when
out, you ran out of steam, Mark.
There was
Kinda
no.
just petered out, and
It wasn't my fault though. It wasn't my fault.
Well, the game was over, and you got to talk to my wife when they go up 21-0 and it's halftime. I'm like, game's over. And she's like, no, they could win it.
Ugh.
I'm like, okay, yeah, I guess they could.
Yeah.
And then even if it's the fourth quarter, they're down like 28-7. I'm like, it's over. And she's like, they could do it.
She just wanted you distracted. What was she?
She's like, keep going. I'm
There
like,
was
okay.
some-
I saw her at
with-
the store yesterday, by the way.
Oh, did you?
Dude, Fred Meyer. Oh my gosh.
Oh boy.
Let's not. Don't get me started on
Busy?
the grocery prices right now. Insane. Maybe
you
it's because
buying
I don't
fresh
go
stuff?
very often. $7 for a thing of eggs again. What happened?
Yeah.
Is it more avian flu or something? Unbelievable. $400. $400 at Fred Meyer. I got.
It's brutal.
I don't know what I got.
I'm about to cross the street to Winco.
I love Winco.
Winco's great.
I love
great.
Winco. I'm
Good
going.
place. You got to
going
pay
back
with the
to
debit
Winco.
card.
That's fine.
You know.
That's
No
a problem to
debit.
me. That's a problem to me.
Okay.
Everything on
There's-
credit,
there's
baby.
no point.
It's all points.
There's no
It's
points.
all credit. Yeah, I get stuck in there quite often. Fox, Steelers, Ravens, 7.6. Texans, Chiefs, 7.4. Beat all of the games that day.
And
on
those
NBC.
aren't playoffs, but I don't know what a typical NFL game draws regular season.
look
I don't
it
know.
up.
So it's like I would assume that their ratings went down because they were going head to head against college, right? I mean, it makes sense, but I don't really know.
What would your guess be? Will the next round be higher?
Yes.
You think so?
Yeah. So you got
Because you still have the
because New Year's
matchups
Day.
that
New Year's Day is big
are,
time.
nothing's going on.
Yeah, New Year's Day has always been owned by college football, right? There's no NFL, and you've got the Rose Bowl. That's going to hit it out the
Yeah,
park.
yeah.
That's going to be 15 to 20 million, right? I don't know how Boise State, Penn State will do, but it's New Year's Eve. So historically, I don't think the New Year's Eve, that's not like a traditional, like, oh, here's our tradition New Year's Eve. We're going to watch college football.
Yeah.
They've had a couple of playoff games on that date before. And my recollection is they don't do great. So
which game do you think draws the highest viewership?
Ohio State, Oregon, big time.
Okay.
Yeah. Rose Bowl, just the Rose Bowl itself. But yeah, those two games, those two teams. I mean, Georgia, Notre Dame, though, those are two big time brands. Big. So those would be big. And then you got Arizona State, Texas.
Yeah.
That and our game will be the least watched for sure. Being the date. And then probably the team.
Texas has Matthew McConaughey, though. I mean, he's getting him pumped
Dude,
up.
that gets like my wife's like, what's McConaughey doing? Like it definitely brings in a different demographic, you know.
A little bit of the Travis Kelce effect. I mean,
I love McConaughey.
The Taylor Swift effect.
Taylor Swift. I mean,
I like the whole like he's always wearing that same jacket. He has a name. Do you know what his role is on the team? He's the Minister of Culture. He's the Minister of Culture at UT.
I'm surprised he's not doing pregame speeches.
I think he is.
All right.
I don't know.
Can we talk Penn State?
Yeah.
I don't know much about Penn State other than what I've just read on Twitter.
Joe Paterno is no longer their coach.
Yeah.
If you're
I remember that. What year was that?
Probably
2007, 2006?
A while ago.
That's probably
You should probably forget it and move on.
Brutal. I don't know much about them, but I believe of all of the teams, they're the one that we match up the best with. Can I say that?
No, you can't say it, man.
I'm going to say that.
Going to get back to their team.
The reason I say that is because they don't necessarily have quick striking, fast on the outside, Ohio State, Oregon. It's more like a huddle.
Yeah.
And throw it to their tight end, run, have incredible defense, really good defenders and whatnot. And so we need, for our defense to be successful, we need a quarterback that huddles, that drops back, that doesn't just get rid of the ball really quick. And then, we'll have to see if we can sustain any sort of run game against them. But I think we got incredibly fortunate. I mean, I think if you had...
Would you have rather had SMU?
You know, the way they played, if they give us a couple pick sixes, of course. Yeah. I don't know, when the first drive of SMU, I thought, okay, they're going fast. That's not good. That's really not good for us. And then I thought, hey, they have a mobile quarterback. They're going fast. We really are, the strength of our defense is sacks, pressure on the quarterback.
Yes.
And when they get rid of it really quick, we're not good. Yeah. And we don't have the depth to rotate guys out and continuously get pressure on the quarterback. And so when they have this really fast paced tempo, that's tough. The problem for SMU is they got so far behind, their whole game plan changed.
Yeah.
And then if you're Penn State, you love it, dude. You're in control. You can do whatever you want. All these plays you don't plan on ever running again, you're going to run because it plays into the metrics of what did they do in this scenario on 3rd and long or 3rd and short. Penn State didn't care about any of the plays in the second half, essentially. And so I think that was unfortunate. But
yeah,
I do think it's good.
Would you, of all the teams remaining outside of Arizona State, would you rather play anybody else?
I don't want to play Texas. I don't want to play Ohio State because I know Ohio State has a higher calling right now.
Oh yeah.
I don't want to play Texas.
I'll answer the question. Yeah. Penn State's the team we want to play.
Yeah.
Other than Arizona State, I think it's, I think you're right. I think their tight end, man, they line him up at Wildcat. Yeah. That guy looks like a beast. So I think I was thinking about that. I think it's going to be Oladipo's job, right? I mean, Oladipo's not big. Yeah. But I feel like it's probably going to be Oladipo running around with him.
It's better that they have an All-American tight end than they have 2 or 3 speed guys on the outside.
And I know the San Jose State receiver is really good.
Nash,
Nash is really good. But look what they did to us. You know what I mean? And the other guy, I don't even know his name. And they
San Jose State
torched us. Yeah. So did Utah State. And they have similar receivers, like quick, fast, quick throws. And Penn State's not that. So I think it gives us a shot.
Do you think that having Stacy Collins on our team, who coached for Penn State last year, is any advantage?
It can't hurt.
Yeah.
But what does he know? What's the inside info that he knows that you can't see on film?
Tendencies? I mean, is that kind of it?
No, just personalities with coaches, I think, is interesting. I think their tendencies of say, hey, James Franklin likes to stick with this.
Sure.
He'll bet on this. So when you're looking at analyzing a team, if you have no idea who you're playing, then you just, hope to watch enough film that'll get you there. But if he's like, I have a familiarity with them, it almost is like a conference kind of familiarity to say, this is how they play in these situations. I like it. I do.
You may just know, like, Franklin prefers hamburgers to pizza.
Yeah, switch them out. Switch out, do the pizzas. You know what I mean? Play that game. I don't know, but
may not be
we're 11-point dog right now.
That's the biggest thing going into this game. It really is just it started the minute that they showed our draw, right? And Spencer Downson was all over it. Please, what was his phrase?
Please count us out.
Please count us out. Okay, so I was listening to I think it's an ESPN podcast earlier this week, okay? With the guy that hosts, not Fowler, but the other guy. They look the same.
Reese Davis?
Reese Davis, okay? He's on this podcast. Yeah.
He has his own?
Yeah, it's like an ESPN. It's him. It's a couple other guys. And I think Pete Thamel might be in it too. He's the SI. But he goes, he brought it up. He goes, and I know I ruffled some feathers in Boise when I said what he said, okay? He said that. And he goes, and he gave us some props. I like Genty. I like what Spencer Danielson's doing there. But in case the people in Boise didn't hear, I'll say it again. Penn State got a really good draw. He doubled down on it, okay? And then this was before these past games. But, I was listening to, of course, Danny Cannell's an idiot, but it's surprising to me. It's really surprising to me. Like, our history in the Fiesta Bowl specifically, the season that we've had, the fact that we won all our games outside of barely losing to Oregon, whatever it is. I'm not saying that we should be favored. I'm not saying that everyone should say we should win. I'm shocked I haven't heard anyone nationally be like, there's not one person that I've heard predict that we're going to win. Not one. And it's been like, it's not only been that, it's been like, oh man, we're going to get more of these. We're going to get more of these blowouts. Look at Boise State. They're going to try. And like, no one's even giving us a chance.
One guy that does fight for us.
Who's that?
Tim Brando.
Tim Brando's
I like
amazing, dude. He's incredible.
He's not Brett McMurphy. But Tim Brando does. He sticks up for us.
Has he said anything about this game specifically
I don't
related
recall
to Penn State?
Specifically, but just the overall narrative and just saying, look, Boise State has Genty, don't count him out.
Yeah, well, I appreciate. It's just like I didn't feel like during the season or even leading up to the selections of the playoff, I didn't feel disrespected, quote unquote. But this game, I don't know. Just in the last few days, it's like forget what Boise State did this year. Forget about Boise's history. Forget about them being giant killers. They don't stand a chance, and that's exactly what our team wants to hear. Spencer Danielson, they got to have cutouts of this.
I just don't know. Like, who else is going to say that, and what are they going to base it off of, right? Are they going to say, like, well, yeah, okay, they only lost to Oregon by 3, but again, like we talked about our schedule, we're in the Mountain West, right? Are a ton of people going to stand up for Boise State? No, we're the little guys. We shouldn't be here.
I'm just surprised that, I agree with that, but it's just been surprising. It's been overwhelmingly that direction.
Did you hear John Gruden's analysis of the Penn State-Boise State game?
Is this a joke? Is this AI?
Spider 3
No,
this
is real?
This is real.
Okay.
Maybe I'll post this, overlay it.
Yeah.
I don't know, maybe. Here we go. He's on. So John Gruden's on Barstool now.
What?
Is he a regular? I saw him.
He's like part of that organization now. Anyway, so he went through every team in the playoff, and this was his analysis of Boise State, Penn State.
Spider 3 white
team. Nobody really knows much about Boise State except for their great running back. I'm going to lean with Penn State in this game. Arizona State is my dark horse team.
That's it.
That's it.
He goes into every other team matchup in depth. And all he said about he's like, nobody really knows about Boise State except for Ashton Genty.
Spider 3
I'm gonna go Penn State. But the thing is, if I was a Penn State fan, I would feel the exact same way. We play Ohio State, we play Oregon, we play Michigan, we play all these good teams.
The history of Penn State.
The history.
Well, some of the history. Okay.
But anyway, I would feel the same way.
History.
And I would be buying tickets to the Orange Bowl. I mean, and the fact is, if you play the odds, they should be.
Yeah.
Like, they legitimately should be doing that. And so I don't feel upset about it in any way, shape, or form.
I think it's what you should expect.
Exactly.
Right? Like,
yeah,
you want to be, respected. You want people to be like, hey, there's Boise State. They're a team to be, to be feared. But it's like, who's going to stand up for that? It's it's the same reason they didn't vote for Genty to win the Heisman. They don't want to lose their credibility, I think.
Can I say something that makes me sad? I shouldn't think this, but I think it. It's the right opportunity for the wrong team. I really have been incredibly impressed with this coach, this team. I love them. But, man, I wish the 2010 team was in this situation, dude. I wish so bad, dude. We had the depth. We had the players. We had the talent. We had everything ready to go on a multi-game playoff run.
Well,
it'll never happen. Sorry.
Can't go back there. But
anyway, sorry. I just say it. I know. I'm just saying.
I don't know. I don't know.
So
I'm just surprised.
Are we going into this game expecting what? A win?
No. I'm not. So I've said this before.
I think we're going to win. I do.
Yeah, okay. But expecting a win? Predicting a win and expecting it?
Well, no, but it's the same. In my mind, it's the same. Would I put a ton of money on it? No. But I think we're going to win this game.
Dude, one thing you have to remember, too, and yes, different years, different scenarios. No one, going against Oklahoma, we were just happy to be there, right?
Sure.
Nobody said we were going to win. Nobody did.
Right.
And we won the game. And so the fact that people come in saying there's no shot, let's just plan on Penn State's next game in the Orange Bowl. Let's book those tickets because they're going to win. It's like, well, this is what happened then too. So, and it worked out for us. Not saying it's a guarantee, but that's what people said about us.
I think it is nice. It's a nice position to be in for the team, for the coach, motivation-wise. I think every game this year, except for Oregon and then maybe for UNLV, they were the team, Boise State was, that was expected to win. And so they always had to put themselves in the mindset of what Danielson said, the hunter, not the hunted. You got to hunt. And now I think finally you come to a point where, hey, we can be the hunter. We can just have that burning desire every day in practice. And if you're the secondary, if you're the defense, if you're the offensive line, you got to make sure you have some serious, fire or wood kindled ready to burn, because that is a challenge, and nobody thinks you can do it, which is, I think, a really cool opportunity for them.
Yeah.
Sorry, go Mark.
Oh no, just specifically about the game. My biggest concern about the game, I actually like what you were saying about the matchup. I don't think they're gonna put up a ton of points on. We'll see. I don't know. I am concerned, not concerned about Genty himself, but I am concerned that I think we're going to need to open up the playbook. If the plan is we're going to run, we're going to run Genty 32 times and 28 of them we're going to be up the middle. Is he going to bust one? Probably, but I think we're going to need more. I think we're going to need more than that.
Can I say how I would want it?
When you're done, I got something.
Okay, I was thinking about this on Saturday night. I really would like to see a ton of play action. So if we're going to win the game, we can't. And we want Madison to have a good game. Sorry, Madison. Alexander could come play.
He can't. He cannot. He's in the NFL.
Hey, okay. Well, I'm just saying. If Mad Dog's gonna have a good game, he has to be third and short. I don't think we have the receivers to absolutely give him incredibly open targets all the time. So if all we do is talk up Genty all day for the next 9 days, and then on the first play it's play action, tight end, 8 yards, play action, play action, play action. We absolutely need them to start backing up. If we can't do that, they sell out on the run. I don't think we're good enough to win that. And so it has to be, Dirk has to dial up a lot of play action, get rid of it quick. Get rid of it to where the tight end, you just fake, pop, 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 and then Genty. When you're backing these guys up, that's how we could be successful in this game.
Yeah.
I really you have to have as many play action passes as you have drop back passes in this game. I really think that.
For me, the key, you got to start, you got to make a statement early on. You look back at when we played TCU in the Fiesta Bowl, 2000, what was it? 10?
10, yep.
Okay. When we pretty much knocked out Andy Dalton.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Well, pick six up,
pick six
front,
right
up early. Yeah.
Laid him out from, we were blitzing from everywhere. We hit him.
Oklahoma, we made a statement early on.
Yeah.
We look at
Arizona, too. We were up big.
Ajayi first place in scrimmage.
Yeah.
21-0.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, man.
When we ran that Statue of Liberty, that Ajayi scored
you're right.
21-0.
But you look at that, and we talked about which team was it that didn't take advantage?
SMU.
SMU.
Oh, okay.
Right? When he rolled, he could have got the first down.
Yes.
Threw it in the end zone.
Touchdown.
Could have got a touchdown and lost it, and it was all downhill from there. And I think that's kind of the fight you're in is like, it's a big deal. You got to take advantage early on.
Yeah. Can I see? Do you guys think we could run against this line, this size of line? I'm gonna read off some stats of the defensive line.
Okay.
You ready? 6'5", 270, 6'2", 300, 6'5", 330, 6'4", 250, 6'3", 260. That's not big. 6'6", 330, 6'5", 310, 6'4", 340, 6'3", 330.
So it's going to be the same ratio. Now, things have
Okay,
changed. Our team's gotten bigger.
Can I give you a update on that? That's Oregon's defensive line.
Okay, nice. So I was going to say.
So we can do it.
Yeah, so I was going to say it's the same thing. Every time we play these bigger schools, it's always the same. We're out, man. You know what I mean? But I think our O-line being healthy is big. I'm curious to know the teams that we've played pretty much all season, and I assume, I don't know enough about it, but I assume Oregon didn't feel like early on in that game they had to stack the box, and we made them pay probably. But everyone else has been stacking the box. And I'm curious if Penn State doesn't, because they don't feel like they need to.
They have a really good defensive line.
They have a really,
rush,
I think I think their rush defense is like third in the country.
Okay.
So I wonder if, if they
Matt,
don't stack the box and they give us a hard time, we're screwed.
If they
Because
don't,
they don't, because
can't pass or
we can't, like, the play action isn't really going to be super effective if they don't stack the box. Like, we want them to stack the box, in my opinion.
so that we could throw.
Yeah.
I am a little.
I don't know. I don't know if they're going to need to. I don't know.
As I am worried in every game, I still think we need some 20-yard passes down the sideline to back them up. Like, I
agree.
still think we need some like 20, 30-yard threats.
Yeah.
And we haven't hit on those in how many weeks? A very long time. That's
Is Chris
worrisome.
Marshall coming back?
What happened to him, dude?
I don't know.
Like, complete. Is he still on the team?
I
Was
don't
he
even know.
injured? Was he just disqualified? I mean, I know he had issues,
I don't know.
but man, he's been non-existent.
I don't know.
Do you know?
I have no idea. No. I don't know. I know he was injured. He kept getting injured. He had a hammy, but it's like, I don't know.
Yeah, it's wild. Do you have defensive rush stats, Matt? Like in college football? I'm curious where Oregon stands and where teams that we've played stands.
Give me a second.
Well,
Talk amongst yourselves.
Well, I know that Penn State, that's what they talked about most in that SMU game. I really do think SMU had them on the ropes for that first
drive.
The first drive.
It's a long game.
And then he gave up these wild pick sixes, dude, where they just gave up.
I
just
quit.
gave up.
I quit watching. I watched the first beginning of that game, but the first half of that game, the Penn State, and I think I said, like, Penn State didn't scare me offensively. They really didn't.
Right.
It was like, well, Mad Dog's not. I mean, we got to trust Mad Dog's not going to throw 3 picks in the first quarter. You know what I mean? Like SMU
pick
did.
sixes.
2 pick sixes and another one. So if we can just not screw
Penn
up.
State?
Penn State's 7th.
Where's Oregon?
In rush defense?
Oregon is not in the top 10.
Okay.
So Penn State average yards allowed, according to this is Fox Sports, 100.4 yards a game, 7 touchdowns.
Okay.
They're good.
They allowed rushing
Strength on
touchdowns.
strength, essentially, is what it is.
It is.
Do we have any teams that we would recognize that we've even played in the top 25, top 50, whatever?
Not with rushing. I only have the top 10 here.
UNLV and Oregon would probably. I don't think Oregon was great against the rush, though. I think UNLV
Well, we
was.
did 180 on them.
Right. Well, Genty did 192, so we did more than 180.
Really? I
Genty
thought
ran for
JD had
192 at Oregon. So, yeah.
Okay. Let's see. Oregon, where are you at?
Oregon.
35.
So this is by far the best team we're playing defensively.
Oregon allowed 126 yards a game rushing.
Okay.
So Penn State was 100.
Yeah. So they're good. It's going to be
Yeah.
the best defense we've played.
Yeah.
So I think it's probably a low-scoring affair, like that TCU Boise State one. I think we probably want it to be.
I don't know.
I mean, obviously we want to score, but I'm just saying.
So punting.
I like our
and
punter. We have a good punter.
We got a good punter.
Our
What
punting,
about our second string quarterback?
That's a problem.
Oh,
right?
yeah.
We talked about that last
Cut fourth?
time. Yeah.
Yeah.
Local kid.
You know, the
Malachi possibly going to UTEP, by the way.
He was visiting UTEP
UTEP
this weekend. Wow, what a fall from grace, man.
But if you're going to play, I mean, that's the spot. If you want to play,
Yeah.
right? You get in, get playing time.
I think I'm surprised. So actually, UNLV just got a portal guy from, where was he from? Did you guys see? They just signed
a quarterback.
Yes,
Because Malik
he graduated.
He went to the NFL.
Well, I don't know if he's going to the NFL, but he graduated.
Well, he declared for it.
Oh, did he? No, the UNLV just got a portal guy. It was a Power 4 guy, and Virginia. And the most notable thing about that was that there is that oopsie stat or something he's the worst in the country.
That guy.
Yeah.
Whoopsies.
The whoopsies one.
And Maddox Madsen's the best in the country.
Yeah.
Anyways, he was very worst.
The guy that went to UNLV.
Yeah, he's going to UNLV.
Whoosh.
But anyways, so I was thinking Malachi was I was thinking San Diego State, Fresno State, both in California. Neither of them have a starting quarterback coming back.
Neither.
And then I was thinking that was weird, huh?
That was good.
UNLV. Of course, UNLV just got someone. So the fact he's at UTEP.
I want to talk about two things at some point is coaches.
Our coaches? Again?
No, just coaches.
Other
okay.
coaches.
And NIL.
Okay.
Can we talk coaches? Did you see what happened to the Washington State coach?
Happened.
Well,
what happened to him or what he did?
What event of time?
What he chose to do.
Yeah. So I don't know how many players went into the portal for Washington State, but
I saw 20. I think I saw 20.
Just devastating.
Yeah.
I mean, if you
And he was still around.
And the OC and the DC and the starting quarterback.
If you're a salesman or a saleswoman and you work to get a sale, how devastating is it to keep losing these sales over and over and over? Which is essentially what this coaching staff is doing.
You visit these people in their homes. You talk to their mom and dad.
Come for one.
Right? These players.
Yep. And they commit to you. They stay for however long, and then they leave, and you got to redo it all over again.
Which you could argue the opposite of that, where a coach comes in and talks to you, and then they leave.
And that's what happened because the coach, was it Dickert?
Yes.
Jake Dickert.
So
So he's been fairly vocal all year talking about how difficult NIL has been for Washington State.
yeah.
And how behind the ball they are in raising funds, NIL, and how they're doing it, and they're fighting. He's working on it, all this and that. So he kept saying leading up to after their last game that he's going to play the bowl game, that he's coaching for Washington State. And then just after a couple hours after his last interview of saying that, he declared that he's leaving for the University of Purdue.
No. Wake Forest.
Oh, Wake Forest.
That was a good build.
UNLV went to Purdue. UNLV went to Purdue.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Wake Forest.
Those are two low jobs that guys are
He
just
did a
bailing.
good job.
Oh,
at
he's a good
Washington
coach.
State.
I think he's a good coach.
I was really surprised to see
But
Wake Forest.
You know what Washington State is having to do with their team and their scholarships.
Did I?
Oh,
did I
they're
text that to you
reducing them.
guys?
Isn't that what they're doing?
Dude,
Mark,
They're playing
tell us.
games.
Dude, okay, so
That would-
college football starting next year is going from 85 scholarships and 100
With some walk-ons, right? Or
so
with some
85 scholarships up to 120 on your roster. You can have a bunch of walk-ons. They're now going to 105 capped,
mandatory cap.
but you can scholarship. You don't have to, but you can. There's a
I thought they all had to be paid.
That's Mike Prater says that's not accurate.
Okay.
He's wrong.
I don't know if I got that from him, but
Yeah, so they don't all have to get full ride scholarships. You can partial it out. That's my understanding. But either way, they're going from 85 to up to 105 scholarships. You can go 105. Washington State, they're like, I think he's the color commentator guy who played there. And I saw an interview with him like a couple days ago, and he said he was just shocked at this place. And they're decreasing theirs from 85 to 79.
79.
And it's like,
to save money.
And and I think I said this to you guys, that Washington State, they've been riding the coattails of the brands in the Pac-10 for 100 years. And they got left behind. And I'm sorry they got left behind. But the reality is they never did anything other than to be present 100 years ago when they drew these lines to be in that situation.
They were the rival of Washington.
Yeah, I don't know what it was. They were the grunt, whatever it is. And now they're like right where we are. And they're having to cut their budgets, which just sucks. But it's like they never deserved to be there to begin with, more than we did.
Sorry, Jay Test.
Sorry, Jay. I like Jay.
Sorry.
But they didn't. Come on. I mean, there's a reason that. I mean, that's going to be hard.
So
Pullman's a small community.
I have some insight. So I'm flabbergasted as to why they're struggling with money.
Okay.
And let me tell you why.
Okay.
So we have a family member who worked in the athletic department in the finance side of Washington State.
Whoa.
And this was during Mike Leach.
Okay.
And so we were at an event up in Pullman with her and talking about her job. And all she talked about was like, we're so underwater financially. And I kept thinking, why? You're in Pullman. You're paying about the same as any other school pays their coach.
They probably have to pay for all that travel to get their flag on game day.
That's a big expense.
That's a huge
It's a big line item. I just kept
Crimson.
thinking, they're getting a lot of money every year. Why are you struggling? You're getting money from the Pac-12. You're getting money from TV. You have a big program. Why are you struggling with money? Why is that? And now,
they all do. UCLA did.
The Pac-12
why?
itself was horrible at money managing.
It's the same reason why someone that makes 50 grand throws money, and then they're making 80 grand, still throws money. Then they're making 120 grand, still struggling with money.
I know, but what is it? What was it? Like, what's going on behind the program to say they're always losing money? Like, that's a money management issue. You need to bring in somebody that can run a program financially sound and not do that. Maybe that's the 79 scholarship
Somebody's
plan.
cracking down saying, hey, we're going to be
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't
fiscally
get it.
responsible
But
here.
dude, if you're a J Test, I don't know what type of hope you have for that program. I mean, you need a savior to come in, and you need something, a miracle to happen. Like Boise State right now, we need to milk this run for as much money as we can possibly get, because you're not guaranteed anything next year.
Yeah.
You're not guaranteed a damn thing. And you don't know how many players are staying, how many coaches are staying.
How many athletic directors are staying?
How many athletic directors are staying? Exactly. So
I don't know.
do you want to talk about that or NIL?
So, let's just finish that up.
Because I have another thing I want to
let's just finish. Their coaching is huge. You can put a Band-Aid on really bad situations with really, really good coaching. So whoever they hire, sounds like Kirby Moore is interested. I don't know if they're interested in him.
I thought they already made the hire.
No, they haven't hired anyone yet. Washington State.
Maybe I just saw it.
So getting the right hire is huge for them. Huge. I mean, UNLV, we thought, and I was saying, oh man, they're going to crash back to earth. They hired Dan Mullen. Whether that's good or not, they're paying him $3 million a year. It's a huge investment. So they're saying we're here to stay. But they're in Vegas. They got money. If they can talk to the casinos and whatever, they have opportunities.
They're
Pullman,
here to stay.
I don't know.
They're here to stay. The Mountain West. The Mountain West is a dead end.
No, I agree.
Dude.
I agree. I'm just saying that they're not dropping back to.
We all agree on that, right?
We all agree.
They're a dead end conference. They're not going anywhere.
I agree. Anyways, go ahead.
Here's what I want to talk about with NIL, and here's why it's so difficult. Okay, this was a post by the Florida Gators SZN Twitter profile. Okay, there was an outside linebacker for Florida. I don't know if he started. I don't know who it is. His name is Jack Pyburn. I don't know.
There's a lot of stuff we don't know.
I'm just going off of the post.
Okay.
Which is always 100% accurate, right?
I don't know if this is accurate or not. And we don't
a good
really
start.
know the contract details from players.
In our defense, we've never claimed to be experts.
Absolutely not. In fact, if you come here for an expert opinion, like that's on you, dude. Like that's on you. I think most of our listeners understand that. Anyway, well, this got 4.5 million views and a lot of response. So who knows? There probably would have been some fact checking. Jack Pyburn, outside linebacker for Florida, wanted the following from the team.
Okay.
$45,000 per month, guaranteed.
Why not?
Guaranteed starting position at outside linebacker. Guaranteed to play on third downs. More snaps in the rotation.
That's got to be a joke. Guaranteed to play on third down.
Get him in there.
Dude, I don't know.
down.
If you're an agent, I bet you they throw that crap in there.
Oh.
I 100% do. I don't see why, if they're doing any contract negotiations, why. I mean, I bet you the people of Florida look at that $50,000 or that $600,000 salary, and that's the least of their problems. They're probably like, I don't want to like be hamstrung to have you in on third down when it's like a passing situation or a running. Like that's the type of
Like you got to burn a timeout to make sure he's in there.
Exactly, right? Right. Well, it's like, you look at some players in the portal. You don't want those players. You don't want that player. on any team.
No thanks.
Like, what team wants that
Go
contract
somewhere,
for hire guy? Like, you don't, unless you have Phil Knight or Ohio State money. And even then, dude, I don't know that they're getting the same contract.
You got to be crazy as a head coach to look at that and say, yeah, I want that.
Exactly,
Yeah, I
dude.
agree.
And so some of these portal guys, you got to think, like, why are they coming here?
Yeah.
You know, and they're not coming to Boise State to make $600,000, but
Speaking
They
of
might
portal,
get a deal with Jackson's food stores.
heck yeah, man. Hot
Right.
dog and a drink.
Get the Dubar, what is it?
special.
The breezy bundle.
Is that what it is? Breezy got a deal?
Yeah, man.
All right.
I think you got to use it once. He scored one
Yeah.
touchdown.
Ah,
It's like we all got a. If he scored a touchdown, we got $1 hot dog and a drink
Yeah.
for $1.
Matt, you would have been all over that at a different
If
He
time.
was
it was
probably
a-
out of
if-
town that Monday.
If it was a tornado, I'm in.
Did they
Or-
sell those at Jackson or Chevron?
Yeah.
Okay.
Jackson's Maverick even.
Okay. Those are
They
common.
get you a roll of
It's like
toilet paper too. With
commodity.
the tornado, man. Watch
don't
out.
go down it. If Matt was an NIL guy, he'd get the tornado
I
deal.
get the tornado deal.
Okay, I don't think we're gonna meet before the game.
Okay.
I think this is our last. I want to talk about this. I mean, I
About
know
what?
people don't want to hear it,
Whoa.
but I think we have to talk about it.
JD?
Okay, we want to talk about that too.
Where are we going?
So this is the same thing.
Is this like personal?
What are we talking about?
How? Okay, I was listening to
This
the interviews
relationship
this week. Okay, Jay Tudd, one of the local guys, media guys, asked Matt Lauder
Oh, right.
if he was one of the 13 players that have been tampered with. What
Okay.
do you guys know what his response was?
Not going to talk about it.
I don't want to answer that.
Yeah.
So my question to you guys is, as of right now, we've had a bunch of guys that they're scout teamers that are in the portal. Fine. Totally understand where they want to go play. Malachi Nelson, the only guy in the 2 deep, understand that one too. Within 72 hours, if we lose, how many of our 2 deep are in the portal?
Enough, like,
I'm gonna say plus or minus 3.5.
oh, plus.
Plus?
Yeah. I'm going to say, I don't know how difficult
tough.
it'd
It
be to
sucks
be
to
Matt
think that
Lauder
way.
and be like, you could have him. I don't know what contracts these guys are getting. I don't know if it's $1 million or if it's
Lauder's
100,000.
an NFL guy.
Lauder's an NFL
He's
guy.
a backwards hat type of guy.
They're saying a left. So who's our left tackle? It's not Randolph. It's whoever our left tackle is. They're saying that the value on the market
Carry
right
on?
now is
Not
$1 million.
Roger Carry on? Not Carry On.
It might be carry on.
Is it?
$1 million.
$1 million for left tackle right now.
Yeah, I just don't know.
It's like we're
that
not
you're
giving
guaranteed.
him $50,000. I'll bet. I
I
don't
don't
think.
know. I don't know how much we're giving.
Not that.
Anyways,
I don't know.
I don't want to
Well,
necessarily
look at-
name
look at-
guys,
but look
but
at
I've got a few
Chibuzo.
in my head.
Look at Chibuzo.
Yeah.
You thought that was a lock. We had a good team going in. This is basketball.
You thought it was a lock that he'd
that
stay?
he'd stay. You have a good team going into a good year with some good players coming in.
Yeah.
You already had some announced really good players coming in, and then all of a sudden $500K to USC, and he's out.
Gone.
And so you can't at any time expect a player. Like, you can lose your best player at any time,
Yeah. There's just, I hate to say
especially
it.
the loss, dude.
And it was interesting. I was listening to Jeremiah Dickey, again, still going to come back to himself, because there's some rumors out there about him. But it was interesting to me. I listened to his interview on KTIK this week, and it was fascinating. They were asking him about the week and how high that he was at the Heisman and everything.
But a fun week.
Fun week. The thing that threw me through a loop a little bit was he was just like, it was a really tough week. It's really frustrating. I'm really pissed off. I'm
Wow.
like, what?
Really?
Yeah, he's like trying to fend off his guys from entering the portal, and
He's a
coaches,
part of that?
and players.
He's a part of that.
That's why I think that if he leaves / when he leaves, it's a bigger deal than a lot of ADs, because I feel like he is very, very involved with the players.
Can I say this? You will not stop having these problems at any school you go to.
Agreed.
You're just
It
going to get
happens
paid more to
everywhere.
deal with it.
But the toughest thing for us is that I don't think, like, for the most part, the biggest schools lose a lot of guys. I don't think a lot of them, like our guys right now, are being talked to from bigger schools, and they're trying to get ready for a game. You know what I mean? And it's solely bigger schools that are going to pay them more.
Look
And
at
I
Alabama.
think,
Alabama lost some of their starting offensive players.
yeah, they did.
That's what got Nick Saban all hot and bothered.
Yeah,
when
and
he was started
Alabama,
going after it.
that's a whole
What do
nother
they call him?
topic.
Indiana Saban? Isn't that what
Yeah,
Shane
because
Gillis?
he had the Indiana Jones hat on.
Yeah. What do
No,
you
but
call him?
what are you talking about? Shane Gillis?
Yeah, what do you call them?
So I think
something Jones or something.
Oh, I see. I think
Yeah.
it's important.
Oklahoma
Just
Jones.
everyone
No, I don't know.
prepare yourself.
Funny though.
And I hate to say that, but not all the guys on the team are Genty. They're just not. They're not built that way, and I can't blame them. We're going to have 3 or 4 or 5 guys.
Alabama Jones.
And within a couple of days, they're going to be in the portal.
Reference.
They are.
He was wearing a hat like Indiana Jones.
Indiana Jones. Because they were talking about paying players to play there. And
That
he's
was a
like,
different
okay,
time.
That was a
Alabama
different
Jones.
time.
Okay. You're right.
So I just think
You're
we
right.
need to be prepared for that and just acknowledge it's going to happen.
It could be a combination because Jeremiah Dickey, who got a new contract, I believe this
Signed
week,
like this week, yeah.
$600,000 with, I don't know if there were some bonuses on there.
$52,000 housing allowance per year.
That's per year.
Yeah.
Wow, that's pretty good. Dude.
I'd take that. Get some,
Yeah.
get some hardwood floors or something.
You know,
I
it
don't
used to be that Idaho had such a cheap market that you could buy for $600,000. You could buy whatever
Yeah,
you wanted.
could
But
buy
I,
a really good
Yeah,
house.
I guess
now.
I also understand that that's a pretty big bonus to get on just your
Oh.
home, right? Like that's your biggest expense,
Yeah.
obviously.
Oh, yeah.
You could hire a lawn maintenance crew.
Yeah, you probably could. You probably could for that. But then it comes out, rumors swirling about that Texas Christian University was
TCU.
Well, I mean, who reported this? Like,
It's
nobody big.
Nobody
right?
big. I did text one of our local guys,
Oh, we
and
got
just say,
some
"Hey, what?"
journalism?
Dude, Mark.
No, I
Mark?
just say, "Hey, you see any fight?" He says he's not. He's not seeing.
Okay,
anything.
but
they're not even touching. Our local guys haven't even touched it. I don't think.
Yeah.
Here.
okay.
Not
You know
yet.
that
So-
they could afford 1.3 million, and you know that people probably are interested in checking into JD
No doubt.
all year round.
No doubt.
Because he has done an incredible job.
Dude,
And
the Herd Bros guy that we had on. If
Yeah.
you didn't watch that, we interviewed Herd Bros.
Yeah.
Really cool guy. But he was talking about Jeremiah Dickey and like how there's no
that
other
is interesting.
athletic director out there that he knows that's as involved as Jeremiah.
That's
Well-
what I'm saying. That's why it will be a big loss if he
It will.
leaves. And until TCU hires someone, you're worried. I'm worried.
Like, do we just
Until
go
they
back?
hire somebody.
Do we go back and call up Kurt Apsey?
Stop
Mark?
it.
Mark?
Stop it.
Dude,
Mark?
stop.
Which one is Matt?
No,
See,
you
what
can
is
bleep
I'm
it.
muting.
Don't
No,
bleep
I'm
it.
muting you, dude. You can't do that crap, bro.
That's a warning.
No, here's what you do. If JD
First warning, dude. That's it.
I can
You don't
understand
get many
why
warnings after that.
if they don't hire someone within the next few days,
TCU?
yeah, you do
We
start
said
wondering.
this about
You start wondering.
Houston.
Yep. It's the
And
same,
it went on
it's the
weeks
same
and
deal.
weeks
It
and
did.
weeks. And
So
they
we'll
didn't do
see.
it.
Hopefully he's here to stay. He says he is, but
Dude, 600,000 is a good amount of money.
It
I'm sorry,
is.
like it's a good amount of
Yeah.
money.
And I really think JD is committed to building. We know about the North End Zone
Yes.
project, that it's going to get going, right?
yep.
I think there's more to it after that, and there's more to it after
Yeah.
that. And I think
Can-
he does care about building that.
Yeah, and you're right. And
I agree.
listen, can I say this? I keep saying that. Can I say this?
You can.
There's something to the thing where you're getting paid a lot of money. You're not guaranteed TCU very long. I don't know how long you're guaranteed at TCU. 3-5 years. Look, you got it at Boise State. You
if
could
you're
be a
doing well,
20-year
yes,
guy here,
yes.
right? And this 600,000, that's the lowest amount you're going to get paid for the rest of your career. Right? You could probably bump that up to $100K a year on the housing budget, right? You can have whatever country club you want. If that's how it goes for the next 20 years, you could. And so chasing money, especially all this year, he kept repping Genty and retweeting him like he's different, culture, building something, that legacy lasts forever. There's something to that. And I do think the hardest times will be when we have a 6-6 or a 7-5 year, and everybody's pissed at the coach, and everybody's pissed at JD for sticking behind the coach. That's when a suitor comes and they offer you 1.3. That's when we lose.
Right.
And
I am
times are
up.
tough.
I am up.
I don't know if I just think you're always going to be worried, and I'm not predicting
this
he's
is the
leaving,
time
but
of
I'm a
every
little
season.
nervous. Yeah, no. Every year it's going to be like this, and that's just, that's the cost of being really successful.
My prediction is he stays. I'm not worried.
Okay.
That's my
Really?
prediction.
I'm worried.
Yeah. Like I think,
but-
there's a little bit, going off on the, your radar or whatever. But I really do think, how would it look?
Yeah, it would be tough.
How would it look?
Yeah.
Genty stays, right?
Yeah, I
they talked
agree.
about this guy was committed.
Yeah.
He didn't chase money. And
then
if
you
JD
leave.
leaves chasing money,
It wouldn't look-
not
yeah.
this season.
Not this season.
Not
That
this
would be
season.
a really tough. That would be a tough.
How about this
look.
question? How much money would it take to get Spencer Danielson to leave Boise State?
4,
Another coaching position.
which is basically any Power 4
well,
school.
just yeah.
So I don't. You mean for this year? Like after this year?
No, I'm just say right now. How much money?
I don't think he's leaving.
Okay, just like play along. How much money do you think people would have to offer?
What does Kirby Smart make? Like 13,
12,
13, something like that?
I'll give you some comparisons here.
Dude,
just throw out a number.
Really, I think 5+.
Okay, here you go. That's not that much.
No.
Kirk Cignetti, 4.2.
Right.
Marcus Freeman, Notre Dame, 6.7. Dan Lanning, Oregon, 8.2.
No,
James Franklin, 8 and 5. Josh Heupel, 9. Ryan Day, 10. Steve Sarkisian, 10.5. Dabo Swinney, 11.
Pretty
Kirby
much
Smart,
every Power
13.
4 job pays 5+. It's like he's not gonna. I don't think he's gonna leave just for the money. But if it was a job he wanted, how do you not? 1.1 here, which is great. But 6, that's like generational. That's do a few years of that.
What do you guarantee? 3 years most of the time?
Yeah,
So you're like an $18 million contract?
Yeah, that you don't have to work again if you're not. And he doesn't seem like an idiot. You know what I mean?
He's
Like,
young. He's young.
Yeah,
37, 38.
He's not leaving after this year, though. No way.
I'm just curious.
There's no openings.
If somebody came to him and said, "We'll pay you $10 million,"
Yeah, he's out. I'd be out. You'd be out.
it's a lot of money.
$10 million.
That's a lot of money.
That's a ton
These
of
guys
money.
are in the playoffs. We're making one. Their coach is making one.
Those graphics are insane.
Yeah.
Just the budgets. More than anything, it just shows how much freaking waste there is out there.
mean,
oh my gosh!
Yeah.
Like
We talked about Jay Tust earlier, but credit to him on he posted like just our total expenses for the football budget were like $21 million.
yeah.
And it's like that was their just coaching salary.
Yeah.
Was 20
Yeah.
like-
Well, and some of schools in the playoff, our entire 18 sports budget is like what they are just for football.
yeah.
It's crazy.
Mark said something about our coach.
Is this in the group text?
No, Mark said something about our coach that some of that changed a little bit this week with the hiring of the UNLV coach.
Yeah. I'm on record. The Boise State head coach at football should be the highest paid in the Mountain West. Period.
All right.
Yeah, that's tough, man. How'd UNLV? Where'd they scrounge out $3 million?
$3 million. So they went from what, 1 something to $3 million?
How did they do that?
I don't know.
Where'd that come from? I mean, I get that they're planning on this exit fee money,
I don't understand why Dan came
but
to UNLV. I don't get it. What is he trying to do? Recuperate his career? Like, you don't have a path.
Wasn't he like a broadcaster now? Like
yeah,
a TV?
yeah,
They
ESPN.
all rotate
Yeah.
in and out of ESPN, but I don't understand the point of taking this position. You're underfunded at UNLV. You're in a dead-end conference with the Mountain West. You're getting paid $3 million, which is probably less than you've ever been paid as a head coach. You know that if Boise State leaves, okay, you can at least win all your games and potentially win your conference championship and potentially make it into the playoff once every however many years. I don't know. What's the point? Like, why not retire? That's what I don't get about these coaches that are sticking around like Dan. He's a great coach. He's a great hire. I don't understand the
Brown?
motivation. But okay, how about the guy that replaced Mac Brown?
Yeah.
That Bill Belichick. What do you need in
you
life? You got a 26-year-old girlfriend. You're 72. What do you need in life, dude?
Maybe it just boils down to they don't know anything different, and so that's just what they do.
Okay, but at some point, move on with your life.
What are they going to
dude.
do?
they don't have that. What
What
gets you to that place in that profession to win 7 Super Bowls? He doesn't have. That
Life.
is his
That's
life.
Okay, but you're 72 years old.
I agree with you.
dude.
It's like freaking Biden, man. Like, why did he even want to run for president? He's like 80
I don't
whatever
think
years old,
he
right?
did. Yeah, you're
No,
right.
I mean, like, why?
I don't know.
I don't know either. I don't know.
I don't get it.
Enjoy your retirement, but Dan Mullen's not that old. I think that
I
think
get it. I just don't
I
understand.
think he does.
it.
I think he wants to recoup. I think he sees that at UNLV things are going well right now. Now the problem is they're doing pretty good. If you take a step backwards, that's not good for your career, right? But without Boise State and San Diego, they're gonna. If they have a good coaching staff, they should dominate the Mountain West once we leave.
Yeah.
And then it's same thing. Within 2 years, he's gone. If he does well, he's gone. This is a stepping stone to get
but-
back on track.
I don't mind. I actually am intrigued by what Harson's doing, by what Chip Kelly's doing, by Dirk Cutter, where you don't want it all. You don't want all of the responsibilities of the head coach, But yeah, an offensive coordinator, something you're really interested in, and say, I don't want to do all of the recruiting all night, every weekend, all that stuff. But yeah, I want to work up the offensive scheme every game. I like that. I want to be coaching guys. I can see that, but I don't see this. I don't get that.
Yeah.
I don't know. Harsin, yeah. So Harson's OC at Cal.
That made no sense to me.
Going with Wilcox is there.
Wilcox is there.
Nick Rolovich is going there.
Yeah.
Look at Harson's Twitter.
I'm gonna be rooting for Cal.
It's all Trump and politics.
He's
did
probably
he
going to
clean
go
it?
get.
Did he wipe it? He's got the Antifa flag now. Or
Yeah.
He went to go schedule his vaccine.
Oh. Well, both like Rolovich and Harsin, who are embroiled
dude,
in the
those guys-
vaccine.
they're both in Berkeley. Oh,
They're in
man.
Berkeley.
I'm
A culture that could not be any further
Yeah.
to what he I'm sure goes for.
I'm
That'll be
interested to
interesting.
see how that goes. Yeah, I like Carson. The further along, the longer it's been since he's been here, the more I like Carson.
Yeah.
It's like Rippon. I think we didn't appreciate him at the time,
Yeah.
but I think I like more Harsin now just because his trolling and stuff on Twitter.
He probably doesn't have enough time to troll anymore, but I think Cal is an interesting place. I don't know. I've never been to that campus, but Cal had some interesting ups and downs this season. Like they had a little bit of wave of momentum going on. I think they even had college game day at a Cal game.
They did.
Yeah. So maybe they can get something going, but I don't know. You could have a year like Indiana and you can draw all the easier teams and you can go on a run and maybe they could just get something going. I don't know.
Maybe.
I wonder if he would be a candidate. Let's say in 3 years Danielson leaves. I wonder if Harsin would be a candidate here. I mean, there's been a lot of guys go back. Scott Frost went back to UCF. The West Virginia coach just went back there.
Rich
Rod. That's cool.
I wouldn't be. I wonder if he's angling. I guarantee he's not selling his house. That new one in Eagle.
Yeah.
That he's moved out of twice now.
Do you know what Scott Frost said at his triumphant return at UCF?
What did he say?
When you're climbing the ladder of success, they don't tell you to stop climbing when you're happy.
He said that.
Yeah,
that's a good.
Which was really cool.
Yeah.
Because when he was a hot commodity at the time, when he went to Nebraska, everybody wanted him.
Yeah.
I mean, he was suiting up some practices to run option quarterback on their defense because they were playing an option team or whatever. He was a great coach at UCF. Nebraska, the only coach that can turn him around is probably Dion. I don't know. Like, they're struggling, but I think it's interesting to have these returns of coaches that were left for a long time. Rich Rod, he went through it all, dude. He went to Michigan and then just like
Arizona
bounced around some small
Jacksonville State. Yeah. And he didn't get fired at Arizona for.
I just remember Rich Rod being a whiny baby, man.
Oh, he was horrible. Oh, yeah.
Well, he had Pat White, and they had that new offense he was running.
Arizona, he kind of got let go more for off the field issues than on field.
What was it? I don't
production.
remember.
Yeah,
Arizona hasn't been the same.
Affairs and stuff like that.
Hey,
okay.
Can we switch gears here?
What are we switching gears to?
I want to read some comments from our viewers.
Oh, okay, yeah. If you're an hour and 12 minutes in,
There's some that are still here. They've hung around.
We've seen the analytics. There's a couple that are still hanging around.
There's a couple. But if you waited this long, guys, here's a comment from Josie Wales.
Ooh.
Former Marshall wide receiver.
saw that. That was cool.
Oh.
Yeah, that was cool.
We watched Randy, he's referring to Randy Moss, lose to Charles Woodson as well. This is a Heisman Trophy.
Dude, that was a...
Granted, Michigan actually won a natty. Still felt like a gut punch. Rooting for you guys to make noise in the CFP.
That
Nice.
to his point, that's probably the toughest Heisman vote of all time. I'm not sure which two players deserved it more, but that was another one that was incredibly difficult. Randy Moss, stats wise, better, and like the type of player Randy Moss was in college and football.
But when you play for Marshall,
But like you said,
Woodson was
Michigan was really good.
Yes.
It wasn't like they're playing the Alamo Bowl against their BYU in their league.
All right, next one. This is Elish. I don't know. While watching the Boise State versus St. Mary's game, I thought Keene was going to take a shot at the opposing basket off that rebound. So glad I wasn't the only one seeing that. So I don't have a clip of it, but other people saw it.
Dude, can we Utah State 11-1?
Incredible.
At St. Mary's, wire-to-wire lead. at St. Mary's, Utah State basketball. I guess we may not be the best team in the Mountain West in basketball right now. Like, I really don't think.
You guess.
Well,
there's nothing that says we are. Are we top 4? Or we're probably third.
Well, we were
Diego,
picked to place first is what I mean.
Okay,
but San Diego State did pretty well.
Yeah.
Utah State's doing really well. New Mexico picked up a bunch of good wins. There's a lot of decent wins in the Mountain West right now outside of.
Sort of. But no. But I was looking at like comparison. The guy that covers Nevada, he's actually a good follow on Twitter. I can't remember his name, but he's Nevada Sportsnet or something. He covers the Mountain West really good, but he was going from last year to this year, and he was like, obviously we're not getting 6 teams in, but they're saying it could be a 2 to 3 bid league.
Yeah,
and mostly because it's traditional, mostly because there's been less good wins this year than last year, and then we don't like last year we got a bunch of quad 1 wins in conference. And this year there'll be like 2 teams that would be quad. So there's a lot less opportunities. We got to ball out during
last year.
conference.
We had Nevada go essentially 10-0 at the start. Colorado State.
Colorado State's fallen off this year.
They had an incredible start, and then Utah State had an incredible start last year and out of conference play. So last year was pretty incredible.
All right, last comment.
Okay.
You guys answer this question.
Okay.
Is Herd Bros Jordan K's long-lost brother?
The
resemblance is uncanny.
I saw that comment.
Both great guys.
Yeah.
I would have to ask.
No. I said we would have the DNA results today, but we don't have it.
Go
both
figure.
good-looking guys.
You know, you go on Mari Povich to find out if you're the father. You come on Shirts and Skins to find out if you're related to Jordan K.
Yeah. Well, West Virginia and South Carolina, they're close. You never know what happens.
Well, West Virginia, you never know who's related to who over there, right? So.
Jordan K is not from South Carolina. He's from
where
Arizona.
He went to Arizona.
Okay. Well,
we got to look deep.
Got to dig deep. But it could happen. It's not outside the realm.
They look very similar. Very good-looking men. Good-looking young men. Predictions?
Yes. I think we win it. I do. I like I think we win it. I think it's a 17-16 win.
Wow, that is a tight nail biter.
I think we win it.
17-16.
Yeah, low scoring. Yeah.
Here's what I'm going to say.
A lot of field goals there.
You don't bet against Boise State in the Fiesta Bowl. That's what I'm going to say.
Well,
3 times his
Penn State 7-0 in the Fiesta Bowl.
Well,
but we'll forget.
When was the last time Penn State was in Fiesta Bowl?
They've been in it.
7 is a little bit higher than 3 mark, but that's.
So you think we're going to win?
What do you?
I think Boise State's going to win. Score wise, I think we get in 30s. They're in the 20s.
There you go. We'll I like that. So my thing is, I actually think we have to outscore them by a decent amount. Like I think they're going to rattle off a couple of scores against our defense, like big plays. Like we'll hold, big play, hold. So I think we're going to have to score, if not the mid-30s, the high 30s, in my opinion.
Yeah.
But I could also, that is a tough one because I could also see it going Mark's direction, like a 21-17. I'm going to say 28-25 BSU wins.
Okay.
So
go right in the middle of you guys.
But regardless, somebody's undefeated streak in the Fiesta Bowl is going to come to an end.
True.
Regardless. Is that a new hoodie you got, Brandon?
I've actually had this for a while, but it doesn't fit great. So
is it too big, too small?
A little bit big.
Are you going to work out more, like to fill it out?
I've worked out.
Shrink it?
The plan.
I know.
You have to make some lifestyle changes to fit in that sweatshirt.
I can't be that committed. I'd rather buy a smaller hoodie.
and this is coming from the guy that doesn't work out.
Yeah. Hey, I wish I could work out enough to fill this the way I wanted it filled, but it's not happening.
This is not getting filled out.
Yeah.
No one's filling anything out.
Is that it?
I think for the day.
Yeah.
Anything else?
Yeah. No, I think that's it. So we think probably after the game, you guys might.
We might do something down there. Brandon
down
and I,
there.
we will be down in Arizona. We'll see.
We'll do a mini?
Do a mini, maybe with our phone or something. I don't know.
We're both driving, so we can bring a computer,
stuff. Yeah,
bring the cameras. We'll see. We will see on that.
Brandon, get the outro music going. Everybody, thank you so much for joining us. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. That's going to do it for us today. Fiesta Bowl up next. Go Broncos. We'll see you next time.